National Stress Awareness Month. And it's probably safe to say we're all a little stressed out in some aspect of our lives.
Oh, definitely, definitely. A December survey from the American Psychiatric Association found that 1 in 4 adults anticipate more stress in 2023. And on top of that, nearly 2 out of 5 adults rated their mental health as fair or poor. So today we want to take a beat and take a break and talk about the different ways that we can recognize and relieve that stress. So joining us live this morning is Dr. Thea Gallagher, a clinical psychologist and associate professor at NYU Langone Health. So good morning, Dr. Gallagher. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right. So listen, we were just talking during the break. We all get a little stressed in our normal life, right? But how can we recognize then when it's too much stress?
Yeah, I think that's the right word to use, recognize. We have to start recognizing that we're experiencing stress before we can kind of do anything about it. And sometimes we're like that frog in the water where we don't realize it's happening to us. And that's why you have to start looking for the signs. How am I feeling day to day? How am I treating other people? How am I treating myself? How am I reacting to different things that are happening in my life? And am I kind of like finding that I'm dreading different parts of the day? So I think the data that you presented already is good to know that a lot of us are going to experience more stress, or we anticipate experiencing more stress. So we have to be vigilant about taking care of ourselves in meaningful ways so that we can manage that stress on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, you just mentioned a few of those signs, and as we know, there's different kind of stresses and specific conditions. So how can you differentiate what's anxiety or what's depression?
So with anxiety, you're worried, you have fear of the unknown, intolerance of uncertainty, that your anxiety is just jumping around to different things to worry about. So we kind of say you'll jump from one lily pad to the next. And then when you can start to feel depressed from anxiety, or that can be on its own, where you just start to feel depressed, down, isolating. You don't want to leave the house. You don't want to do things that used to bring you joy. And so stress can morph into all of those things. And so a little bit of stress is a good thing, right? Before like a public speaking event, we feel a little bit nervous. Before an athletic event, we can feel a little bit nervous. That's normal. But when it starts to be debilitating, when it starts to interfere with our functioning and our mood, that's when we really need to do something about it. So it's always good to do something about it before it gets to that point.
Well, talking about things to do, what can we do then? What are some of the things we can do to try to manage that stress?
So again, the first thing is you want to non-judgmentally observe it. Like, what are my triggers? What's impacting me? How am I feeling on a day-to-day basis? And then you really want to know your limits and ask for help. A lot of us take on too much. We say yes to everything. And kind of being able to say no to things, to offload things, to have other people help you out, and to ask for that help is so hard for so many people. But to suffer silently is really not the way that we want to go, because if you suffer silently, it's going to ultimately impact you and everyone else in your life. And when you go back to this idea of mindfulness, it's really also about being in the present, being in the moment, remembering what can I control, what can't I control, how can I be fully in this moment, and do the best I can with the resources that I have today, and not to get too far ahead of yourself and start worrying about all the things in the future or the things that you can't control in this moment.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite movies is Bad Boys, especially the scene where they're talking about woosah, because they were stressed, right?
Yeah.
So I say that to say, what type of breathing exercise can people under similar stress go through, or any type of exercises or tips that you could share?
Yeah, so, there's the concept of the 4-7-8 breathing. There's the box breathing. I like to keep it simple. Don't get it too complicated, but it's really all about that low and slow breathing, really meaning that when you let all of the air out of your diaphragm, you want to hold it there for a few seconds. And then when you bring it back up, hold it there for a few seconds. And it's all about that low, slow breathing. And I really encourage people to practice that low, slow breathing, not only when you're in a state of stress, but kind of as a regular practice. So then you know that you can regulate that physiological stress. And then in those moments when you can practice that, that also helps you to bring you back to the present, where you're just focusing on your breath. You're more able to stay engaged. And if you take a yoga class, you've done this, but really just thinking about low, slow breathing.
Great advice, Dr. Gallagher. We are taking your slow breathing advice to heart. Thanks again for being with us. Great tips.